Hey guys, welcome to another Jason's Tech Talk. Thought we'd do a video today. I've been checking out some prices on eBay and Amazon, and have kind of come to the realization, as good as eBay is and how cheap the prices are, with the way AMD has pricing out their processors and with the RAM costs, is it really worth buying on eBay? The one thing I did have was video cards seem to be a lot cheaper on eBay, but can we actually build a system reasonably with new parts and then take that amount of money and buy the best we can on eBay for the same money? And what do we actually get? Well, I'm going to go through the process real quick. We're going to make this as quick as possible, but let's see what we can do. Okay, guys, here we are on PC Part Picker. We're going to pick out the components for our Amazon Newegg, basically our new build. Now I'm going to go with parts I know work, and I'm going to try to pick the best parts for the money. Now I've done a little bit of research, and I believe for the best you're going to get for the price is going to be a Ryzen 5 2600 at 114.99. You could go a little bit lower with the RX the Ryzen 3 3200G for 89, but I believe the 2600 at 114.99, that's going to be our most bang for our buck. So we had that in there. For a CPU cooler, let's sort these out lowest to highest. Now I'm not going to pick a piece of garbage. I am going to pick something that I have used, or something someone I know has used. And for that, we're going to go with the Deep Cool Gamex 400 for 1979. It's going to be hard to beat. This will keep the processor nice and cool, even with a mild overclock. Now, motherboard, I'm saying the B450 is going to be the way to go with that. You're not going to have to worry about any BIOS. And for a motherboard, I think we're going to go with the ASRock 450 HDV R4 Revision 4.0. I have a version of this motherboard. It's a really good motherboard. And I know the slots and all that in this motherboard, and for the price, it's going to be really hard to beat. So that's $63.98. And let's get us a little bit of RAM. Now, I believe for this build, since this isn't really a budget build, it's just what you can get at a good price. I think 16 gigs is where everybody wants to go, and with a Ryzen system, the 3000 or the 3200 seems to be the price point where you get your best performance. Now I think the best performance-wise is going to be with the 3600, but you're going to pay a little bit more for that. With this, you do want dual channel. You don't want to go with just one stick, as Ryzen works better with a dual channel, so you want to go 2x8. Oh, looks like I messed my filter up here. Oh, I guess it helps if I choose 2x8. And we have the Team T-Force Dark Z for $59.99. We have the Crucial Ballistic Sport for $62.99, or the ADATA XPG Z1 for $63.99. For $3,000 for the $59.99, or $62.99 for $3,200. I think I would go with the Crucial Ballistics $3,200. So $62.99. Let's add that in. And for storage, I think we need a small NVMe for our boot drive, and then we want a mechanical hard drive for our game storage. So we're going to do these at the same time. May take us a little bit longer to scroll through them, but that way we're not doing two different searches. And I think here for 500 gigabytes of mechanical storage, the Barracuda for $19.89 would be a really good choice. And we're going to have to do two searches anyway. Thought maybe I could pick them both at the same time. For this one, let's go in and put a couple. So we want an SSD. Now I know with this motherboard, I'm pretty sure you can't put a SATA M.2, you have to have an NVMe. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody just put that in the comments and call me out on it. And let's see, we have our HPs, a Kingston, the ADATA XPG SX6000 Pro, 256 gigabytes. That is a very good NVMe. 42, 45. The XPG GAMX S5, that has a heat sink, and I have used that actual storage device, and I know that it's good. So let's add that in there. Now for our video card. I think we're going to go ahead and price ourselves around $150. Don't think we want to go lower than that for a decent 1080p build. Not to say that you can't find one on sale every once in a while. I'm leaning towards probably a 1650 Super or a good 580. It's just going to be according to the pricing. There's a RX 580 for $159 or $158. Both of those are good cards. But just like I thought, for basically the same price, maybe a few cents difference, we have the 1650 Super. We have the Zotac for $159. And I think we're going to go with that, the Zotac. Now, Tom's Hardware did a review on this card, and it did beat out the 580 at the price point. Now, I'm missing it here, so did I imagine it, or was it really there? 1650 Super. There you are. Zotex twin fan. For $159.99. And for a case, now the case, the one thing on eBay is with the shipping on the cases, we may have to do a little bit of working as far as the pricing, because the shipping is not really fair. Because we could buy just any old case to throw this in and it would still work. So I think we're going to say $40 to $45 is going to be our limit for case. Which, you know, this is one of the only things you have to buy for a computer build, that the shipping is usually more than the cost. So let's see what we got here. We got the Cool Master Box, the Versus, the Silverstone case, the Deep Cool Matrix 55. There's a good case. I know it has good airflow, and it's around $40 to $45. I believe that would be a good little case. And for a power supply, I would go with something for at least 450 watts, and I wouldn't want anything below an 80 plus bronze. Modular or non-modular. I would rather have modular, but for the price, it's not a necessity. It's just a convenience. The Thermaltake Smart. It's not modular. Let's see what else we got. We've got the CX. Now, Tom's Hardware did give this an overall good review. Let's see where our first modular. Let's see what our price is. Yeah, we're getting a little too expensive now. Let's back. I believe the CX 2017, it's a 450 watt power supply, should give us plenty of headroom. Should run everything just fine. And like I said, I did check this on Tom's Hardware, and it is a good power supply. Now, let's move down, and I believe that's all we need for our system. We could add in our operating system, our monitor, but those are all things that are subjective, and most people aren't going to be ordering those online, and they're a little bit, like I said, too subjective for what we're doing here. Now let's go down and get a total. Now, a total on that's $583.60. Now let's go over these one more time. We have an AMD Ryzen 5 2600 at 3.4 gigahertz and 6 cores. A GameX 400. Now that will handle a mild overclock on the 2600. I wouldn't go too heavy on it, but that is a good cooler. The ASRock B450 motherboard. It is micro ATX. Crucial Ballistic Sports AT 16 gigabyte DDR4 3200 memory. Seagate Barracuda 500 gigabyte 3.5 7200 RPM hard drive. An ADATA XPG GAMX S5 256 gigabytes M.2 NVMe. That's going to give us some really good boot speeds. The Zotac GeoForce GTX 1650 Super. The Deep Cool Matrix 55 ATX mid tower. The Corsair CX 450 80 plus bronze. And again, our total is $583.60. Now, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, comment. But this is the end of the first part of this, which is picking our retail system. Come back for part 2, where I'm going to go through and scour eBay for some of the best parts I can get for roughly around the same price. We're going to cut the limit off at $600. We're not going to say $583.60, because what's $20? It's not going to make or break us in our budget, I don't believe. So please come back for part 2, and I hope you enjoyed this part. Have a great night, and see you later.